Cheeky Richo's Cronuts. Cheeky Richo's homemade croissants from scratch. Hi and welcome to Cheeky Richo's croissants made from scratch. We'll also be having a try at making a cronut, which is the craze that's sweeping the United States at the moment. The ingredients are in the recipe box below and scrolling as I speak. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is tip our warm milk, that's lukewarm milk, into a bowl with a sprinkle of our sugar and all of our yeast. Now I'm using dried active yeast at the moment. If you have access to fresh, then by all means use that. Now you just give that a little whiz around and add some flour to make a paste. This mix quite well. And we're going to stand it somewhere warm to get all frothy. Okay, just cover this with a cloth and put it aside for 20 minutes until it gets quite frothy. Okay, after 20 minutes in a warm place, our mixture has doubled in size and it's really quite airy and fluffy. Now we're going to add our flour to a large bowl with our sugar, our egg, and our aerated fluffy mix. We're going to mix this all together until it is well combined with about 50 grams or 2 ounces of our butter, which is at room temperature. So we'll just send our butter in now. Mix this all up. And then we're going to set it aside for 2 to 3 hours to double in size. You're going to have to get physical with it now. Okay, now it's come to a ball and we're just going to knead it until it's quite elastic. Work the gluten in the flour. It bounces back out a little bit longer. Okay, there you go, it's a lot better. Okay, so we pop it back into our container and then we just cover it with a cloth and we leave it for 2 to 3 hours in a warm place until it doubles in size. After 2.5 hours our dough has doubled. We are just going to tip that out onto our board. Sprinkle with a little flour and knead it to get all the air out of it. And then we're going to roll it into a square and start to incorporate our butter. Right. Now get this as square as you can. Now we sprinkle our flour over it and add our room temperature butter and make that into a square as well. So just push that into a square like so. Sprinkle it with a little flour and fold our corners in like so. And now we're going to roll that until it's flat. So So we're going to incorporate a butter into our mix. We get this into as long and oblong as we can, and we're going to fold it like an envelope. Like an envelope. Sprinkle it with a little more flour. Any butter that's escaped, pop that in too. Back into another envelope. And we keep doing this until we've made many, many layers. Okay, you can see that there are quite significant separate layers in our cronuts, and we're going to cook the little guys in the middle as well, but we have to let them rise for another 15 minutes covered in a tea towel to let the yeast do its job. Okay, now we're going to roll this out for our croissants now. We've already cut our cronuts, so roll this out for our croissants, and then we are going to measure them and cut them. And we'll have cronuts and croissants out of the one batch. We let our little croissants rise for another 20 minutes before we bake them for 20 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, after 20 minutes our little croissants have risen. We're just going to brush them with some milk and bake them at 200 degrees for 20 minutes until they're risen, golden and crisp. I hope you enjoyed this little cooking demonstration of Cheeky Richo's homemade croissants from scratch. If you'd like to see more interesting recipes and ideas, just check out our Cheeky Richo channel. And don't forget to please subscribe. And do come back and visit us again soon. We have so much more to show you, and we are uploading lots of videos every week. Into the oven we go. 20 minutes, 200 degrees Celsius. Mini croissants are hot from the oven. We've cooled them on a rack. We're just going to pop them into a serving plate. And there you have it. Cheeky Richo's homemade croissants from scratch. Now our little cronuts have risen. You can see the layers are starting to separate there. We're going to cook the round bits out of the middle as well, because we can. In 170 degree Celsius rice bran oil. Okay, our little cronuts have risen, and so have the little centers, and we're going to pop them into 170 degree oil until they are crisp and brown. Turning them over halfway through. Okay, our first cronut is ready to come out of the oil. You can see the little layers have separated. Popped open. Time to put some more on. Now we just drain it onto the paper towel. We give it a little shake and some cinnamon sugar and set it aside to cool before we fill it with our cream patisserie. The little guys, cook's treat. Okay, our cronuts are cooked, rolled in our cinnamon sugar. We have our little Leku Decamax filled with our cream patisserie. We're just going to poke a hole in our cronut and squeeze some of the cream into it. A couple of sides. And there you have it, Cheeky Richo's first cronut. And continue with the rest. Lucky last, we just turn him over now. Brown him on the other side. Drain him on the absorbent paper. Roll him in the cinnamon and sugar mixture. And then prepare him for serving. Okay, now we just drain this little guy now. Some absorbent paper. Turn our fire off. Cinnamon and sugar. Pop him in there. See all the little layers of the croissant dough? It's really hot. And there they are. Now we just get one of our little cronut. Okay, now we just get a chopstick, poke a hole in our cronuts and squeeze until it's full. Repeat this process about 3 or 4 times around the perimeter of the cronut. You'll find that all the layers will start to fill up with the cream patisserie. Okay, we'll just pop them to one side and continue with the rest. You can see how the layers have already started to separate. And there you have it, Cheeky Richo's cronuts. Light, crispy, sweet, flaky, and taste, shall we? Cheeky Richo's cronut. Have a taste, shall we? Is it worth queuing 2 hours to eat? I think so. This is the most delicious donut I've ever eaten. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day.